Welcome to the summer series of Make Movement Matter minis with me, Wendy Welton. In a break between seasons of the usual interview-style podcasts, I'm sharing a few short episodes to jolt your thinking and offer you a few practical suggestions to move more in your daily life. I really hope you enjoy them, and if you do, please share them with others. Follow for more, and I'd be incredibly grateful if you could rate and review the podcast to help me reach more people and spread the message about the importance of making movement matter in all our lives. So, on with the episode. Today I'm talking about a movement skill that rarely crossed my mind as something I should actively practice in daily life until I started to assess my whole body movement capability to recover from and stay out of pain. That skill is balancing. Have you checked in on yours recently? It feels rather appropriate watching the incredible balancing skills of the gymnasts in the Paris Olympics. What they do seems beyond the realms of possibility for most. We all know that to achieve what they do takes hours of daily practice. However, if we think about our own balancing skills in daily life, we often take them for granted and just expect our bodies to be good enough. Then, as we age, we can suddenly notice our balancing becoming more challenging in small ways that creep into daily life. A common example is having difficulty putting shoes on standing up. Instead of continuing to try, almost without thinking, we start to lean against something to put them on or sit down. After a while, we might actually feel like we're unable to put them on standing up anymore. The good news is that this isn't necessarily the case. Like those Olympic athletes, we need to train our balancing skills daily to maintain them if we want to keep doing the things we love and be independent for as long as possible. Okay, not quite to the extent they do, but the theory is the same. Consistent practice does make progress. So let's explore why we need to practice balancing, some tips for good technique, and most importantly, the practical application, how we fit it into our daily lives for life. First of all, let's talk about why balancing is so important. Balancing is a fundamental movement skill that supports our overall stability and coordination. It's amazing when you think about it. Our entire body weight balanced over two small feet, and yet as we age, our ability to balance can start to decline, and then we can no longer take it for granted. One thing that doesn't help is the lack of challenge in our modern world environment. We have flat surfaces everywhere, in our homes, offices, shops, pavements. The irregularity of natural terrains like rocky, sloped, bumpy, narrow, and even slippy surfaces challenge our balance as we walk. So unless we actively seek out opportunities to walk on irregular terrain, and if that's not an option to actively train our balance, we might suddenly find ourselves struggling with those simple tasks. Back to that good news, I always like to focus on the positive. Incorporating balance into your life doesn't have to be daunting or time-consuming. Before I give you some ways of working it into daily life, it's first important to talk about technique. Clients of mine literally go from saying, I can't, and I'm not very good, to surprise smiles at their performances. Not by hours of practice, but instead by making some small tweaks to their technique when they know how. Here are 3 of my top tips to help you improve your technique instantly. Alignment. When we have our weight over the center of our heels, and that means your pelvis backed up too, and your head is up, when the head chases forwards, this is a common issue, it's already pulling your weight forward, challenging your ability to balance against gravity before you even try. A good question here is therefore, notice if you do this in daily life, even when you're not balancing, and think about how the back of your body is having to hold on tight to keep you from falling forwards with every step. That's for another episode, but actually practicing balancing can in fact help you to improve your alignment too. It works both ways. So try to feel your way with your feet, and therefore barefoot is best for the greatest amount of feedback to your brain. Shout out for the last mini episode. But if you have to, look down with your eyes, not your head. The second is be in control. Don't shift your weight to move forward until you're absolutely ready. Always set your balance first, relax, that's in tip number 3, and then move. We often rush into balancing, which makes it harder to actually stay balanced. And finally, relax your upper body. The lower body needs the necessary tension to keep you stable through foot, ankle, leg, and up into the pelvic floor in your core. But being relaxed in your upper body makes it easier to adjust your upper body in compensation for what's happening down below. This is helped by remembering to continue breathing. Sounds ridiculous, but I often see people holding their breath. When you breathe through your nose and use the diaphragm with longer out breaths than in breaths, this relaxes your heightened nervous system, telling your body you're safe. For more information on the importance of healthy breathing habits, go back to one of my most popular episodes, number 10, with Jane Tarrant. It's a goodie. One of the most important times your body learns and improves in balance practice is when you learn to catch your fall. You know how it feels when you're on the edge of falling, when you suddenly start to feel out of control. You can catch your fall by immediately stopping moving, trying your best not to put the other foot down. You can then check your alignment, remember that head position, check your breathing in order to calm yourself and reset. And then when you're ready, continue. Pushing yourself to get to that point when practicing in a safe environment could make all the difference when you unexpectedly find yourself about to fall. So now you've got a few technique tips to help. There are more that I use and that vary depending on the specific balancing movement I'm coaching, depending on whether it's stationary, moving forwards, backwards, on whichever surface. But you'll need to join me in my online classes in the membership to help you out more for those. Next are a few ideas to help you start adding that balancing practice into your daily life. They are a mix of moves. Some you add to something else you're doing anyway, and after doing it consistently for a while, you'll always associate the movement with the task, and therefore no memories required. Great for me. And others that happen anyway, whilst going about your daily life. Firstly, one of the simplest ways to start practicing is just with single leg stands. You can do these anywhere, anytime. If you choose a regular time, it can help you build it into a daily habit. Opportunities can be things like the classic waiting for the kettle to boil, brushing your teeth, and every time you're stood in a queue, because it reduces the frustration of queuing as well. Pick the one that works for you and stick to it. Try to keep your foot off the ground for as long as possible and challenge yourself to increase the length of time you practice each day. Other benefits to static balancing, so when you're on one leg, are that you're also strengthening your foot, your ankle, your knee, your hip, and your core. Lots of great stuff. You can also add to the challenge by lifting the other leg and moving it all around you. Making sure you are adding that wobble can help you push yourself towards that edge so you get used to and practice catching your fall. There are several times in pretty much everyone's day when we can avoid balancing, but if we choose to see them as opportunities to practice and make progress, when we're going about our daily tasks anyway, then we know we're adding in balance practice for life. Here's how I add it into my life. When I get out of the shower, I ensure I dry my lower legs and feet by standing on one leg and bringing the other leg up towards my body. When I put on underwear, socks, and lower half clothes, I always aim to do so standing up. As I do, I make sure I start on my less good side and stay on one leg for as long as I can. You can also lower your eyelids or even close your eyes to add in a really significant extra challenge too. I always try to put on my shoes standing up as well. I also put things on up in high cupboards, as that makes you do a bit of a calf raise to get them up there, which is also a way of balancing too. Finally, I also aim to walk daily and look for those uneven surfaces or irregular terrain rather than always following the well-trodden path. Did you know that walking is actually about 80% balancing on one leg? So it's great practice in itself. Now let's talk about some more fun ways to create opportunities to incorporate balance into your daily routine. At home, playing balancing games by using lines underfoot like the edge of floor tiles, patio stones, or a rug, walking along those lines barefoot so you can feel the texture with the soles of your feet. And this not only improves balance, but also awakens those nerve endings in your feet, enhancing that connection between foot and brain. And for more of that, again, go back to the last mini episode, number 22. And you're doing that with your feet in line. So looking for opportunities to balance on things that add some height as well when you're out and about is also good for upping the challenge. So balancing along a pavement edge, low rails, logs, even fallen tree trunks. If you're feeling adventurous, climb onto and walk along a low wall and try to avoid holding on when climbing over a stile. If those feel too much yet, a great cheap investment is a 2x4 wooden plank from a hardware store. Walking forwards and backwards along it, and much more besides, with your feet in line again. It's close to the ground, so there's little risk, but high enough to feel much more challenging. I find it really effective. It slows down to the speedy ones, it quietens the chatterers, and it brings out the competitors. The benefits go far beyond just improving balance. It also enforces mindfulness, and when you use it barefoot, increases that brain-body connection. Having a prop hanging around is also a really useful reminder to regularly have a play to help your balance. It's also a great talking point when people see a random plank on your living room floor. These small, simple changes can significantly improve your balance, and you can have fun whilst doing them. Remember, it's all about those mini balancing moments throughout your day that keep your balancing skills sharp. It's not just about preventing falls. It's also about improving your confidence to engage in a wide variety of activities that might suddenly seem closed off to us if we doubt our ability to balance well. If you need more help with technique, or you want to join me in online live classes or by replay where we practice balance regularly, visit reclaimmovement.co.uk and join the membership. I'd love to see you there. Thank you for listening, and I hope this has inspired you to go and have a balance, and as always, make movement matter in your life. I hope you enjoyed this mini episode, and please press follow on Apple, Spotify or YouTube to make sure the next ones pop up as soon as they're released. If you'd like to hear more about how natural movement could benefit you, then head over to my website reclaimmovement.co.uk and sign up to my newsletter. Or to have a more thorough introduction to all the ways a natural movement lifestyle can improve your mobility, strength and confidence, then my 5-day introductory course, Move More Naturally to Live Better, is for you. You can find all the details on the homepage. If you have any thoughts or questions, you can always get in touch with me at reclaim.movement on Instagram, or email me at wendy@reclaimmovement.co.uk. See you next time, and don't forget to just move.